Hey, I'm Jake Panasevich, and I'm gonna nerd out a little bit today about the alignment of your hands. And if you're practicing a lot from home, there's little subtle changes you can make in the placement of your hands and your wrists in pertaining to the width of your shoulders. And that could save your wrists, your shoulders, all the way up to your back. And it's really subtle. Everyone's a little bit different. And the alignment you want in your hands and wrists is these wrists make creases, okay? And when you place them on the floor, like you're wearing a wrist or a Fitbit, you want the center of that wrist crease to be right underneath your outer shoulders. You want your wrist creases to be parallel with the front edge of your mat. Now, those landmarks work when you're in tabletop and setting up your foundation, and then it shifts because of the width of your shoulders. Okay, when your arms are in the overhead plane of your body, the width of your shoulders is going to look something different than when your arms are alongside your body, when your arms are in the front plane of your body. Okay, and so what we do a lot in yoga is this vinyasa sequence. It's often called where you do the push-up, where your wrists are under your shoulders in plank, in chaturanga, or low plank, and then cobra, they're alongside you. Then down dog, your arms are more overhead. And so the placement of your hands could actually be subtly different, and I would argue that for most people it should be. Especially if you're stronger or tighter, like a lot of us guys are. But I would say, honestly, generally, for most folks, it'll be subtly different in these poses that we do like regularly, all the time. And so we'll have a look. So we'll start in tabletop. And here, your wrists are straight across. Okay, and what I'm looking at is more so the wrist creases again. Your wrists make these creases. You want them to be parallel with the front edge of the mat. So getting your pointer finger straight forward gets you in the ballpark, but it's really that wrist crease that you want to look at to get it exactly right. Okay, and then the center of your wrist right underneath your outer shoulders. And for us guys, or in general really, if you've got broader shoulders, this might mean the first finger, your pinky finger, or even the first two fingers could go clear off your mat. Okay, they often don't make mats wide enough for some of us, okay? So don't be afraid to get spacious in your stance, especially if you've got broader shoulders. Okay, so there's tabletop. Okay, then you're gonna tuck your toes, step back for a plank. Here, same position with the width of your shoulders, okay? And then it's the same position for low plank. You're gonna bend your elbows just wide enough to keep your shoulders plugged back. Keep them setting back as you lower your hips. And as you inhale, come up for cobra. What'll often happen here, okay, the width of your shoulders changes slightly. And beyond that, if you're stronger or tighter, the index knuckle part of your hands will tend to get light. Okay, and it'll collapse the weight back into your wrists. There'll be major wrist pain and shoulder pain. Okay, so you gotta turn your hands out just enough to flatten out that index knuckle, nail it down, and set your shoulders back. Okay, so it's literally a difference of, for me, like an 1/8 of an inch of a rotation, varies very slightly from the push-up chaturanga to cobra. Okay, and then back to down dog. I like to pass through knees, so roll back to a tabletop position, and then readjust hands back to where they were for down dog. Okay, because in down dog now, they're more in the overhead plane, and your shoulders are more narrow. Okay, so very subtle differences in the width of your shoulders and all those different planes of your body, but it could be the difference from saving your wrists and shoulders, especially if you're practicing a lot from home right now. I hope it helps. If you have any questions for me with alignment or in general about the yoga, let me know. I'm glad to help. Namaste.